There you are. Hi, everyone. Okay, you're all using the same computer, correct?
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
perfect. So there are about 246 attendees now in our session. So welcome, Ysleta ISD, and I'll let you take it away, and I'll take myself out of the picture. And thanks for being
Right.
part of this.
Well, thank you so much for having us and inviting us on to talk about our experience with feeding kids post-COVID, or I guess in the COVID era. We're just going to get on and talk about how we've had to adapt, how our ladies and our food guys have stepped up in the time of crisis, and serving 1 million meals safely in our community over the last 6 months or so. So like many districts across Texas and the country, mid-March was a time of great uncertainty. Heading into spring break, we really didn't know how long this all was going to last. But we knew that it was going to be, unlike any other time that we'd ever experienced before. We just really weren't sure, how different and difficult and trying it was all going to be. So as the timeline stretched from, 2 weeks to a month to eventually the entire semester and into the summer, we were in a constant state of adapting. We were having to find people who were willing to work, who were qualified to work based on, health, their health profiles and that kind of thing. Acquiring sufficient PPE, which, as we can all attest to, was a huge challenge because it was in short supply and great demand. So, especially child nutrition employees who are on the front lines, who are in contact with, hundreds and sometimes thousands of people in the public each day. It was really important that we acquired that stuff. And then, of course, just trying to get food in, to feed all of our kids. We honestly didn't know how many kids we'd be feeding on each day. We kind of treated it like it was a summer, and we kind of thought we'd have maybe 50, 60, 75 kids. And there were, first day at one of our schools, we served almost 1,000 students 2 meals. So it was definitely an all hands on deck, everybody trying to get things done. But and just to give you some background on Ysleta ISD, we're a socioeconomically disadvantaged community district here in El Paso, Texas, far west Texas. 4 out of 5 of our kids are either free or reduced. So the need was there greatly. Maintaining the community of feeding was especially important because so many of our kids rely on the schools for their nutritional needs. But, at the end of it and through, as we've been going through this, it's been tough, but we've also gotten to see a different side of a lot of our employees. They stepped up, they worked long hours. They've had to juggle their home life, and in addition to it, they have kids at home. But they stepped up without question. They did their jobs valiantly. They were there every day of the week and into, serving extra meals on Fridays for Saturdays. At times it was a logistical nightmare, coordinating employees and altering menus and dealing with the inevitable and unfortunate situations when we actually had employees test positive for COVID. So dealing with all that, getting schools closed down and moved over to other campuses, changing applications, and even things like dealing with the media, because once they find out that we had employees test positive, they were, jumping on it at the very beginning before it became a little more prevalent. It was, somebody test positive was like leading off the nightly news. So, but through it all, we became better and stronger for it. We have between 450 and 500 employees that are better for it. These times of crisis are good for showing you what you're made of and who you can trust to step up. And what we found is a lot of the times that the people who were stepping up and really pulling us through were the people that you wouldn't necessarily think were the ones that would step up and do it. But we've managed to take a whole lot of positives away from it. So I just wanted to share a video that the district made for our lunch ladies about our staff. So let me. Everybody. Again, that was just a little video that the district put together as, to show our board and our principals and everybody all the great things that our employees were doing in that time. So I thank you for listening. I'm going to turn you over to Flora Snyder. She's our menu specialist and our menu planner.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for having us. Just wanted to give you a little bit of information, a little bit of background on how our menus have been affected actually since March of this year when the whole COVID-19 started. It's been quite challenging because we pretty much had to change every single thing that we had planned from one day to another. We were unsure, like Mr. Crawford said, we were unsure of what was going to happen. We were unsure of our participation. We were unsure of everything. Usually by February, March of every single year, we already have planned menus for the following school year, commodities. We have plenty of vendor meetings, just to plan ahead for the following year. And this year, everything had to be put on hold, as I'm sure it happened for every single district. I manage all the menus and production records for the department, and my job pretty much entails to make sure that every single menu meets every meal pattern. We went from following NSLP to switch immediately to summer feeding program within a matter of days. And this happened during the week of spring break. So we had to be available and working during the week of spring break. And we actually joke about it. We even say, when are we going to have our spring break? So we haven't had it yet, but hopefully one of these days. And we had to work during that week, bring our managers and retrain for the schools that we were going to start opening to serve the community. Like I said, we went from NSLP to summer feeding program within a matter of days, and retraining, reorganizing the entire department was really challenging. And we went from, let's go from 1 week to another, and are waiting on the district to make decisions about what was going to happen. And we by no means expected to be now almost in October, and we're still continuing with the same program. The beginning of the school year also was an unsure thing. We didn't really know. We had plan A, B, C, and we weren't sure of which one was going to work. And we started thinking that we were going to go back to a regular NSLP menus, and suddenly we had to change everything back to summer feeding program and grab and go. So all of our menu items had to be modified to fit grab and go services. Of course, the demand of product was really high. We had to keep an open communication with our Labatt rep to make sure that all of our products were available. But unfortunately, we did suffer a lot of shortages and changes. We caused a lot of frustration within our people as well. But for some reason, and we made it work, and we continue to make it work. I guess communication was a big part of this, and coming together as a team has been working for us really well. And that's a little bit of our history and our menu. And I'm gonna turn it to Glenda so she can fill you in a little bit more on the purchasing and financial part of our program.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Glenda Salazar, and my official title with the district is Child Nutrition Services Administrative Technician, which is a fancy title for person in charge of the budget and the purchases. As my colleagues previously stated, this pandemic has been very challenging. And we all thought that we were gonna come back from spring break. Unfortunately, that was not what happened. Our administration decided that we were going to go ahead and close our district down. And at that point, they also decided that even though we were gonna be shut down, we needed to go ahead and feed our students because there was such a demand over it. So what we did is we sprang into action, and as a team, we came together, decided which schools we were going to go ahead and make them operational. In our case, we decided to start off with 18 schools. 7 of those schools were our high schools because we felt that those were the areas where more students and families could come to. With all of that being said, of course, we had to figure out a way where we were going to keep costs down. So what we created was a courier team, and those gentlemen really helped us out with our vehicles by visiting the campuses that were closed, transferring all the food and non-food items because we needed packaging items as well, and then brought them over to the open campuses to try and finish up use up the inventory that we had. As the money person, of course, when the district decided that they were going to go ahead and pay all employees through the last day of school, right away, of course, it kicks into your head that I don't have that much revenue coming in, so how are we going to be paying them out? So right now we're waiting for the final numbers for the last school year, and I'm hoping and praying, fingers crossed, that we finished in the black and not in the red. We did keep a lot of our food costs down, like I said, by going and visiting the closed campuses and working together with Flor to go ahead and create some menus with the items that we had. Currently,
Hi, this is Carrie.
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I didn't want to totally cut you off, but we are at the 11 o'clock time slot. So I'll let you wrap it up in a last sentence or two.
Thank you so much. Open lines of communication with everybody. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ysleta. I so appreciate you guys participating in this.